We're here with the Rich, frontman from Rev Theory. Their new album, Justice, hitting stores February 15th, but you can hear the title track right here on KCLB. Rich, what's happening in your life?
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. You got a lot of things going on.
Yeah, we do.
Now, you've been off the road for a while. Is it just like riding a bike? You hop on stage, everything is back to where it was because you guys are getting geared up for the Monster Energy Outbreak Tour?
Absolutely, bud. It's, you just got to dust the cobwebs off and hop back out there.
One quick question off the music thing. How many different ways have you heard your last name pronounced in your life?
A bunch of different ways.
What is the most common?
Luzzi.
Is it Luzzi? Yeah. Luzzi?
Well, in American, it's Luzzi. In Italian, it's Luzzi.
Okay, so which do you prefer?
I don't care.
You don't care as long as they say your name, right?
Yeah, I don't really care.
All right, now Rev Theory is a band that you guys are just starting to get a taste of the real life of a rock star. I talked to you last year. You said you used to work in a freezer. You used to work in this scalding heat. Being you don't have anything else to do now but write music and tour, are there any negatives of that life?
Yeah, the biggest negative is just being away from your family and your friends and your home. Yeah, that's the biggest negative. You're gone a lot.
So you just tend to miss people. And it's a lot easier because I got family back in Michigan. I'm in California now. You can text, you can call, you can Skype, you can do all of this stuff. Do you take advantage of all those things?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, I do.
Right on. And a couple things about the record industry. Are there any behind closed doors type things that have kind of surprised you or pissed you off a little bit that you didn't expect?
I mean, it's just like anything, man. It's just, you think it's one way and then it ends up being a different way. But, I think a lot of it, has to come down to that there's a lot of ego in this business. And so sometimes, ego gets a little bit in the way of, what the right thing to do and what the wrong thing to do is. And, that's just the biggest thing. We've had our run in, radio's tough, and we're fortunate to have stations like you that support our band. But, there are some stations, you got guys that, think they're, higher than God themselves because they can program a radio station and, don't want to play music just because they don't like it. And, it's really for the people to determine, and it never gets a chance to get to the people because it's, reasons like that.
It's not even the guys that, I'm going to go off on a little tangent here, but the guys that think they can program a radio station, it's just ego in radio in general. People think they're superstars, man.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And, when we walk into a building, we check our egos at the door, so that kind of blew me away a little bit.
Well, that's what you have to do nowadays. I think all bands are getting like that. You don't see any musicians blowing off interviews or anything like that because times are tough. People aren't buying CDs. You guys have to be as personable as possible because you have to get people to your shows.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct.
And with the internet, videos and all that stuff, people want to know about the band. They don't want some cocky rock star. Those days are long gone.
Yeah, correct. You're right.
Now, we're on the phone with Rich, frontman from Rev Theory. New album hitting stores February 15th called Justice. Rich, what is the best show Rev Theory has played to date, in your opinion?
I would have to say it was Rockfest this last year in Kansas City.
Right on. Now, who was playing with you?
It was a ton of bands. They do the radio station there in Kansas City does a one-day festival, and it's the largest one in the country. It's about 50 to 60,000 people, and we played the main stage, and it was just a sea of people for as far as the eye could see. So it was a pretty surreal feeling.
One musician, dead or alive, that you would like to record a song with?
Elvis Presley.
Elvis Presley, the king. Right on, Rich. That's awesome, man. Well, thanks for the time. We're going to keep spinning Justice. People are liking it, requesting it, and hopefully we'll get a hold of you later on in the year once the album hits and sells tons of copies.
Absolutely, man. Comes out February 15th. Everybody get out there or get online and buy a copy.
That's Rich Luzzi. It doesn't matter, right?
All right, man.
Right on, Rich. Thanks.
All right, thank you.